Chiquinho came on as well, brilliant. They made a massive difference, the subs, and took them a while to get them on, but when they came on, it was absolutely a great game.
Unbelievable, because Wolves, we thought, would be low in confidence. They haven't been scoring any goals for the last 3 games, almost 4 full games there. So where did that last 10 minutes come from, do you think?
Yeah, it was crackers, but at one point it was kind of symptomatic of their season. They had some very good chances before. I spoke about the last 10 minutes of the first half. Wang had a great opportunity then to start of the second half. Then there was clear-cut chances for Trincao. Later in the second half, didn't take him. You thought, well, this is pretty symptomatic, getting themselves in some great positions, just not clinical in the last third of the pitch. And ultimately, well, it was their kind of a goal-scoring centre-half who somehow ended up in the middle of the penalty box. We spoke about he started off the move outside his penalty box and just literally ran 60 yards.
It was nice for Cody as well, because he'd made a mistake for the second Lukaku goal.
Yeah, you're always looking to dig yourself out in that situation as a defender. But yeah, just kept believing, kept pushing. They must have thought there was something there for them, because they had their moments in the game. And this wasn't like a watertight Chelsea defence throughout the course of that 90 minutes. They were a bit open and a little bit loose, but great belief, great tenacity from Wolves.
What about Chelsea? Crazy to throw that one away, right?
Yeah, you can see the pictures of Lukaku's face as well. He thought he was going to get the headlines tomorrow in the newspaper, and he's like, the cross is coming in, and Cody's brilliant header, great ball in again. But Lukaku just sinks back in the chair. It's like it's not meant to be his day, but yeah, you've got to give Wolves great credit. I mean, they'll be kicking themselves with the 2 goals. The 2 centre halves made, mistakes for the penalty, and then of course Cody trying to play out in a bad position, and the goals were 2 mistakes from them. But great credit, they never gave up. Chelsea never killed the game off, and a 2-1 or 1-0 or 2-1, you've always got a chance, and a brilliant ball in, and what an unbelievable finish.
It was a bit open, wasn't it? Even at 2-0 up, it wasn't as if they strangled the game, Chelsea. The Chelsea team at their very best, maybe with Kante and Jorginho in there, maintains possession of the ball, just don't give it away. They kind of sucked the life out of the game, but it was really open in that central area of the pitch, easy for both teams to get up and down the pitch. And the nature of the game gave Wolves an opportunity, even at 2-0 down.
OK, we'll catch our breath. There could be a bit of disagreement over that Lukaku penalty, by the way, in studio. That's all coming up after the break.
The referee's gone to look at the VAR wagon.
Oh, forget about the Premier League referee. Forget about the referee. There's a Premier League referee in the VAR wagon as well, so they both said it's a penalty. So let's not kid ourselves on that the referee is still refereeing the game in this situation, because referees are being told to go to the screen and to do exactly what the VAR referee is telling them. That's a fact. So let's not kid ourselves on that the referee is going to the screen to make his own independent decision.
Well, that's what's happened.
Tell me the last time that a referee went to the screen and changed his mind.
Well, it has happened. It has happened.
But I can't remember happening possibly in the last 6 months.
We'll show it again here. Just go through it again. You're saying there's definitely...
I think it's definitely a penalty. I don't think it should take that long. Yeah.
Forgetting about what the referee
He's not going for the ball, and he's clipped Lukaku's left leg.
And Kenny, you're not seeing this contact?
No, I don't think there's enough contact. There is contact, but I'm saying there's not sufficient contact.
What about, see, it goes back, and what about the second one here? Oh, he kicks forward. Now, whether or not it's in the box is another question.
Massive kick. He's on the ground. He's thrown his leg in the air. He's trying to make it as difficult as possible for Lukaku. That's not a penalty for me. The referee has a brilliant view of that. It's not as he hasn't seen it. He's clearly made the decision. I don't think that's a penalty, but he's been told to go and change his mind. That's the reality of the situation.
You're sticking with penalty?
Yeah, but he can't go. He can't go and look at it. He's not told he'll go and look at the VAR thing, the replay, and say you have to give me what I say. You're still on pitch referee. He still makes the final decision.
But
go on very briefly on that. Yeah?
No, that's not the reality. That's what we're being told. But the reality is totally different. Referees are doing what they're actually being told to do.
Okay, it was well done by Lukaku to win the penalty. He won the ball first, and he was, whether he was fouled or not, he got it, stuck it away, and then scored the second goal as well. Big day for him.
Yeah, this is typical of him, but this is actually where he's been at his best, really, in the last couple of seasons, particularly in Italian football, kind of on transition. Cody gives the ball away. Look at the amount of space that he's got when he receives the ball. 1v1 against the last defender, can go right or left, plenty of space to run into. He's always been good at that, and this won't change. Hasn't got a lot of thinking to him, doesn't have to do an awful lot, just has to make a good contact on his right foot. Lukaku's problems primarily are when he receives the ball on the edge of the opposition penalty box and the opposition team are in good defensive shape. He hasn't got a lot of space. That's when he has his issues, and that'll be the conversation going forward. How do we get the best out of him in those situations? But in this situation, big spaces either side, quick counter-attack, he'll always be effective.
He had a finish a little like that against us in the Euros a few years back, just with the left foot, I think it was, on the other side there.
He has 2 goals in 3 minutes. I think obviously the confidence of the penalty as well. He just scored a couple of minutes before that, and that was Lukaku of old, as Kenny said, at Inter Milan. Not to think about it too much, and a brilliant finish on his right foot.
So would you, at this stage, Thomas Tuchel said, what did he say? He said he's a big player, he's still an important player, he hopes he's going to be an important player next season. Would you try to keep him at the club or let him cut him loose?
I don't know. I mean, Kenny mentioned at the start of the show about did Tuchel sign him or did someone up above sign him? I don't think he strikes me as one of his players, if I'm being honest. I think if they got money somewhere near what they paid for him back in the summer, which I don't think they would, I think they'd probably let him go.
That was nearly 100 million, you know. But you were making the point that it might be easier to sell him. If Tuchel does want to get rid of him, it might be easier now because there's a different ownership. There will be different ownership.
If that's what he wants to do, I think he can. I think he will be able to get him out. I wouldn't sell him, to be honest with you. I think there's more to come from him. But I think he needs to make some slight adjustments, not in terms of the tactical setup of the team, but they have to realise what the strengths of this player were. We saw it there in counter-attack. That takes care of itself. But the best out of him in general play, you're not going to get the best out, but continue playing on the inside, little clever combinations on the edge of the penalty box. You've got to get the ball wide, you've got to put good quality delivery into the box. Now, I think he's got to look at the quality of his movement at time in the box as well. I'm not saying it's one thing or the other, but I think there's more to come from Lukaku. I think he's a big threat, and he still could be a big asset to Chelsea going forward.
Certainly a good day for him ahead of the cup final as well. If you're
we talked about that as well, about, you know, this is an opportunity for him today to show to the Tuchel he can play, he can score goals, as he's shown, and obviously there's a big cup final next Saturday. Has he done enough to play in the cup final? I'm still the jury's still out. Like, but again, he's disappointed. You see they said about the shots at the end. He could have got the headlines. More 2 goals. Lukaku wins the game for Chelsea. With such a late goal from Wolves, it's a different story. But I think he'll be confident after today, Lukaku.
So your 2-0 was looking good at this stage, Shay, but it all started coming apart a little bit with the first goal from Wolves.
Yeah, well, we weren't surprised, but Wolves played really well today, I felt, in spells. And again, I think Brainy mentioned in commentary, you know, Loftus-Cheek or whatever, not being a natural number 6. It seemed very open at times to get at the back four at Chelsea. And they deserved the goal. It's a phenomenal finish from Trincao. Like, you think of from that, you know, Rudiger, maybe you probably say better as a centre half. Get closer, stop the shot, you know, through your body and the way, but taking nothing away from the finish. Absolutely brilliant finish. Yeah,
I'm glad Shay has praised the finish before you criticise the defending here, Kenny.
Well, you can, but you almost 3v2 there. We spoke about the start of the second half, turnover possession, and suddenly like you're 3v2 at the back. Kovacic, I'd mentioned as well, actually barged into Rudiger, put him off at the last minute. Again, that lack of a central midfielder who understands decision making when he gets into that area of the pitch. Kante, yes, puts the brakes on there and probably takes Trincao when he comes on the inside, you know, makes an interception. So all of those things play a part.
Yeah, nicely done by Trincao, though. You're going to give him a little bit of credit.
Finish. But that's what I'm saying. They got some real talent in that Wolves team high up the pitch.
Well, actually, we might have a look at some of the chances because they really were knocking on the door even after they got that goal. It wasn't as though they fluked this.
I mean, the goal was very late on, so that's why we say maybe it wasn't a fluke at the end. Like, but they were definitely knocking on the door on before that. They had lots of great chances, and Chelsea seemed to lose their shape. But Tuchel was trying to get them into a 4-4-2, I think, at the end. It was half a penalty. I don't think it was enough in it. To be fair, the ref said no and didn't even go to VAR, but they were knocking, the chances were coming, and this is another good chance for Trincao. I think that it just opens up for him, and that extra touch at the end, I think the door closes again.
Sorry, just your point on Chelsea's shape there, I could have crossed you.
Yeah, no, just Tuchel, you can see on the sideline was trying to get them in 2 banks of forward because they were 2-0 up, like, and staying in the game, and again, Jimenez had a really good chance on the edge of the box.
They were loose there, Chelsea, weren't they?
Yeah, there were some good play there, some 1-2 combination play there from Wolves to the edge of the box, really playing with confidence there. And Jimenez, again, it's not an easy chance there, but just got to get a little bit better shape on the ball outside of his right foot, comes straight off his foot, just not quite where he needs to be in terms of the quality of his finishing.
Tiny bit of controversy at the start of the build-up for the Wolves equaliser. This is stretching it a little bit.
I didn't.
Just a
throw in,
yeah. Forget it. This is ridiculous.
It's way down the other end of the pitch, so really you can't be complaining too much about Chelsea.
Chelsea got players on the right, but it's panic stuff. And Marlon Sarr probably narrows up too much to Rudiger. That opens up the space on the outside, and this cross in is like absolutely top quality. You literally could not get any better. Thiago Silva's probably looking at this cross coming in. Yeah, looking at Cody maybe drift off his outside shoulder. I think there's no way you can find him with this ball. The ball has to be perfect, and that's exactly what it is. Yeah,
brilliant from Chiquinho. I was really impressed with him today. I'm really impressed with him. That ball's Beckham-like in his prime. Really whipped it, a lot of whipping the ball, and at that point, you know, Cody's got nothing to lose. Get in the box.
Do you want to do another American accent there? Todd Bowley looking disappointed.
Todd Bowley put his whistling things away for that when that goal went in. You could see he was disappointed, but there'll be a big future ahead, I'm sure, with him at the helm. Do you think there's any controversy over that? Just that it shouldn't actually have been a throw and it was the same pass played? Like you said, almost right in the far corner. There's a lot of things that happen before they end up in the back of your net. They will look at it and probably be disappointed, but there's so many decisions in a game. I think that they'll let them off for that one. Yeah. Oh, please God, we can't get into the situation now. We're bringing VAR into play in situations like that. Otherwise, the game's totally gone. As we know, you don't like VAR? I don't like it. I get the feeling you don't like it. Yeah. I think you don't. Tell us what you really think. I think you know my feelings on VAR. But that was great. The last kind of 10-15 minutes was like really frenetic. But expected Chelsea just to show a little bit more composure in those situations to be able to ride the storm. But they actually lost the composure a little. They got dragged a little bit all over the place, and
I thought Wolves in the end deserved their draw.
Big moment for Wolves. They are still in contention for a place in Europe next season. They weren't playing like that over the last couple of weeks, but could this revitalise things over for the next few games?
Yeah, I think it'll give them a little bit of heart. I think it's unlikely they're going to grab that European spot, but it just gives an indication of the quality they have. When we talk about Wolves, we talk about defensive setup, don't they? You used to talk about for the game, 11 clean sheets, don't give up, soak up pressure, that type of thing. Jimenez always gets a mention up front, potentially there's goals there to come. But they've got so much more. We've mentioned before the game, Neto, Podens, Silva's big money on youngster we haven't even mentioned. Trincao, very clever little operator. And this Cinquata comes off the bench, haven't even heard him, made a real impact on the game. So, and a lot of youth there as well, and the team's only going to develop and get better. So if I was a Wolves supporter, I'd be really encouraged by that performance.
I know what you're thinking, Kenny. Centre half came up trumps, scored the equaliser deep in injury time. We've got to hear from him. Here's Conor Cody.
Connor, a huge moment. That must be an amazing feeling for you.
Incredible feeling to do it in front of our away end, incredible feeling to equalise, because I'll be honest with you, I felt like we deserved a little bit more. If I'm being honest, I thought the lads performed extremely well, and I thought it was something where we give 2 real mistakes away against a world-class team, and I think a lot of people thought we were dead and buried. So to come back like that, show the character of the team is incredible, and to score in front of the away end like that is a real special feeling.
Yeah, well, what was going through your mind when you saw that? You know, there wasn't much time left on the clock. You know, 6 minutes added on, and then you had that one opportunity. What was going through your head?
I'll be honest with you, I was hoping Chiquinho was going to get the ball. I thought he was outstanding when he come on, if I'm being honest. He drove at them, he put the ball in the box at every single opportunity, so I thought he was fantastic. For a young lad who's learning every day with us, I thought he was outstanding, and it was just about trying to be in the right place at the right time, but the ball made it. Listen, the cross was fantastic, I just needed to put my head on it. But like I said, the feeling for the boys, I think the feeling for the football club, because it's been a tough few weeks where we haven't been good enough, and we've stood up to that, we've accepted that, we've looked at where we've gone wrong, and I thought today was a step in the right direction. It was all about performance, so to come away, like I said, I thought we could have maybe nicked it, because I thought we deserved that, but to come away at 2-0 down with a point is really good, yeah.
Well done to him, well done to Wolves for rescuing a point out of that one. There was no such joy today for Watford, who have been relegated. They've been beaten by Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park as well, guys, which is a bit of a killer for Roy Hodgson. It's not the way his Premier League career really, it's not the ending he deserves, but I suppose he took the Watford job and he took the risk.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a strange appointment. He started not having to go with Roy Hodgson. He's had an amazing managerial career, but you know, they replaced a man in his elderly age in Ranieri with an older man in Roy Hodgson, and never really got that bounce effect, if I'm being honest. So they were always up against it, and Watford have a habit of chopping and changing their managers on a regular basis, and I don't think that's a good thing either.
What do you think?
Wouldn't rule him out, nicking another.
Would you, honestly?
Oh, I wouldn't know. It's in him.
Yeah.
He kind of can't help himself. I'm a huge fan of him. If this is the end, I wish it would have ended on a better note for him. I think it would have been fit if he had gone in there and made an impact and actually kept Watford up. I think that would have been pretty summed up. We would have walked away a happy man. Maybe a tinge of regret walking away, having suffered a relegation.
They haven't offered much, have they? Really, we've done them a couple of times, and
yeah. But I would, you know what? I wouldn't beat Roy with his stick, because he said it before that the defensive set they just haven't been good. Individual players just haven't been good. And you could be the greatest defensive coach in the world. But if you're preaching things to players and they're not taking it on board, they're not absorbing what you say, and they're not putting it onto the pitch on the Saturday, what more can you do? Yeah,
the other big relegation news today in terms of the fight down there is that Burnley have been well beaten today. So that's good news for Leeds United. We're going to be showing them.
Joaquin, Real Betis y con faces Valencia.